Have you ever loved someone so much that you started to hate yourself? Have you ever given pieces of your soul away, one by one, until you looked in the mirror and didn't recognize the hollow eyes staring back? They say the most dangerous thing in the world is a weapon. They are wrong. The most dangerous thing in the world is a heart that does not know how to close its doors. Because a door that is always open doesn't just let love in, it lets the thieves in too, and they will take everything. In the gray, rain-swept city of Aurelia, suspended high above the thunderclouds, lived a man named Elias. Elias was not a warrior or a king. He was a weaver of essence. It was a magic specific to his bloodline, a curse masquerading as a miracle. Elias could look at a person and see the frayed edges of their spirit, their grief, their insecurity, their heartbreak. And he could mend it. But he did not use thread from a spool. To mend a broken spirit, Elias had to pull the golden thread from his own veins. He had to unravel his own joy, his own peace, and his own vitality to patch the holes in others. For years, Elias was the jewel of Aurelia. He was the city's savior. But saviors, as history tells us, usually end up on crosses. The tragedy began on a Tuesday, cold and biting. A young woman named Clara came to his shop. Her eyes were red-rimmed, her husband had left her, and her confidence was shattered like glass. She sat on the wooden stool, weeping until her breath hitched. "I feel like nothing," she whispered, clutching her chest. "I feel like a ghost in my own life. Elias, please, make me whole." Elias looked at her. He felt the familiar tug in his chest, the ache of empathy that was his undoing. He nodded. He sat at his great loom, raised his hands, and focused. He reached inside himself, searching for his own confidence, that warm, steady feeling that told him he was worthy. He grabbed the end of it, and he pulled. The pain was sharp, like a hook in the lung. As he wove his hands in the air, a golden, shimmering light flowed from his chest into Clara's. When he finished, Clara stood up. Her spine straightened. Her eyes cleared. She laughed, a sound like bells. "I feel wonderful," she said, spinning around. "I feel like I can conquer the world." She left without paying. She left without asking if he was hurt. Elias sat in his chair, trembling. A gray patch appeared on his skin, just over his heart. He felt a sudden wave of doubt wash over him, a question of whether he was good enough. He had given his certainty to her. "It's fine," he told himself. "She is happy. That is what matters. Stop for a moment. Look at Elias. He is making the mistake that ruins lives. He believes that if he suffers enough, they will love him. He believes his pain is a currency that buys loyalty. There is a reason you are hearing this story right now. There is a reason you found this channel. Most people walk through life blind, giving and giving, until they break, never understanding why." Elias had no one to warn him. He had no voice of reason. If you are not subscribed to this kind of truth, if you are not constantly reminding yourself of these lessons, you are walking into the dark without a lantern. Don't be like the ones who scroll past. Subscribe to the truth now before the darkness in this story becomes the darkness in your life. Because what happens next to Elias happens to everyone who refuses to learn. Months passed, and the line outside Elias's door grew. A merchant came, consumed by the stress of a failing business. He needed peace. Elias gave him his own calm. That night, the merchant slept like a baby, while Elias paced his floor until dawn, his heart racing with anxiety he couldn't understand, sweat dripping down his graying face. A mother came with a child who was born without laughter. She needed joy. Elias gave the child his own sense of humor. The child giggled all the way home. Elias sat in the dark, staring at a wall, unable to find a reason to smile. He tried to remember a joke, but his mind was a blank slate. The people of Aurelia grew bright, strong, and vibrant. The city was known as the City of Radiance, but in the center of it, the weaver's shop grew darker. Elias was fading. The golden glow that used to radiate from his skin was gone, replaced by a dull, ashy gray. He moved slowly, like an old man, though he was only 30. He was cold, always cold, no matter how many fires he lit. One evening, the mayor of Aurelia arrived. The mayor was a large man, boisterous and beloved, but he had a secret deep fear of mortality. He wanted timelessness. Elias, the mayor boomed, filling the small, dim shop. The city festival is approaching. I must make a speech that will be remembered for centuries. I need charisma. I need vitality. I need to shine so bright that no one sees my age. Elias looked up from his loom. His eyes were hollow. His hands shook uncontrollably. Mr. Mayor, Elias rasped, his voice thin as paper. I have very little left. If I give you more, I fear I will unravel completely. I am empty. The mayor frowned, his face softening into a mask of pity that felt like a slap. Elias, my friend, look at all you have done. You are a hero. But think of the city. Without my leadership, the city falters. If the city falters, everyone you helped will suffer. Do you want their pain to return? It was the ultimate trap. If you stop now, everything you gave before was for nothing. I am so tired, Elias whispered. Just this last time, the mayor pressed, placing a heavy hand on Elias's frail shoulder. After this, I promise, the city will take care of you. We will build a statue in your honor. Elias looked at the mayor's expectant face. He looked out the window at the laughing, happy people, people breathing with his lungs, smiling with his joy, walking with his strength. He felt a terrible obligation. He had made them. He had to sustain them. Okay, Elias breathed. He reached deep into the very core of his existence. He found the thread of his life force, the will to exist, the spark that made him human. He gripped it. It burned like holding a live coal. He pulled. The scream never left his throat. It stayed trapped in his chest as the golden light poured out of him in a torrent. It was blinding. The mayor inhaled it greedily, his skin flushing with youth, his eyes sparkling with godlike power. Incredible! The mayor shouted, flexing his hands. I feel immortal! He turned to the door, eager to show the world his new brilliance. He didn't look back. Thank you, Waver. You will not be forgotten! The door slammed shut. The bell chimed cheerfully. Elias sat in the chair. He looked down at his hands. They were translucent, like gray glass. He tried to stand, but his legs were smoke. He tried to think a thought, to feel a feeling. Sadness, anger, regret, but there was nothing. He had given away his sadness to a widower 3 weeks ago. He had given away his anger to a soldier a month before. He had given away his hope, his joy, his fear, and now his life. Elias did not die. That would have been a mercy. Instead, he became a hollow. This is the part where you expect someone to come save him. You expect the town to realize their mistake. But life is not a fairy tale. Days passed. The festival began. The mayor gave the greatest speech in history. People wept with adoration. The city celebrated. Not a single person came to check on Elias. Why? Because when you make yourself a doormat, people don't thank you for it. They wipe their feet on you. They forget you are there. A week later, Clara returned. She had torn her dress and wanted a simple repair. She pushed open the door and saw Elias sitting at the loom, staring straight ahead, dust settling on his eyelashes. Elias! She waved a hand in front of his face. He didn't blink. He was merely existing. She poked him. Elias, stop ignoring me. It's rude. After all the praise we give you. She waited. Nothing. Fine, she huffed. If you're going to be sulky, I'll go to the tailor down the street. He's not as good, but at least he listens. She stormed out. The villagers didn't say he was broken. They said he had become arrogant. They said he was lazy. He just sits there, the merchant complained. I asked him for a bit of clarity for my accounts, and he just stared at me. The ingratitude, after we made him famous. They stopped visiting. The shop grew dusty. Spiders spun webs over the loom where Elias sat, a living statue of gray ash. Winter came. The shop had no fire. Elias did not shiver. He had no warmth left to lose. One night, a traveler entered the city. He was an old man wrapped in rags, carrying a walking stick carved from blackwood. He was not a weaver of essence, but a collector of truths. He found the shop. He pushed open the creaking door and saw Elias. The traveler stopped. He didn't ask for a favor. He didn't ask for help. He walked up to the gray figure and looked into the empty eyes. "Oh, child," the traveler whispered. "You didn't knit them together. You unraveled yourself." The traveler placed a hand on Elias's cold forehead. He could feel the echo of the immense magic that had once been there. He looked around the room and saw the truth of it, the town that glowed with stolen gold, and the husk left behind. The traveler sat on the floor at Elias's feet. "Do you know why they hate you now?" the traveler asked the silence. Elias did not answer. "They hate you because you are a mirror," the traveler said. "When they look at you, they see what they cost. And people hate to pay for things they convince themselves were free." The traveler reached into his pocket and pulled out a single rough thread. It was black. It was made of boundaries. It was made of the word, "No, I cannot give you your gold." "Back," the traveler said softly. "It is gone, scattered into 1,000 ungrateful hearts, but I can give you this." He tied the black thread around Elias's gray wrist. "This is the thread of self-preservation. It is not happy. It is not bright. But it is real." The traveler saved Elias because he knew the truth. But who will save you? Elias almost died because he didn't know the value of that black thread. He thought love meant sacrifice. There are thousands of stories like this, thousands of lessons you haven't learned yet. If you are not subscribed to this journey, if you are not part of this community seeking wisdom, you are vulnerable. The world is full of mayors and merchants waiting to take your light. Don't let this be just another video you watch. Make a choice. Subscribe, join us. Because the only way to survive a world that wants to use you is to learn from the stories of those who were used. Don't wait until you are a hollow to look for wisdom. Years went by. Elias remained in the chair, but slowly the golden glow began to fade from the people. The mayor grew old and fearful again. The merchant became anxious. The confidence Clara had waned. They came back to the shop, banging on the door. "Fix us!" they screamed. "It's wearing off! You owe us!" They threw rocks at the window. "Selfish weaver! Come out!" Elias sat in the dark. But then a twitch. His finger moved. It brushed against the rough black thread on his wrist. The sensation was not pleasant. It was gritty. It was hard, but it was his. For the first time in a decade, Elias blinked. A single tear rolled down his cheek, not golden, but clear water. He stood up. His joints cracked like dry branches. He walked to the door where the angry mob was shouting demands. He opened the door. The crowd fell silent, expecting the golden light, expecting the miracle. Elias looked at them. He looked at the mayor, fat on stolen vitality. He looked at Clara. "Help us," the mayor commanded. "I command you!" Elias opened his mouth. His voice was a rusted gate, scratching and deep. "No," the crowd gasped. "But we need it," Clara cried. "I'm sad again." "Then be sad," Elias said. "I am afraid," the merchant yelled. "Then be afraid," Elias said. "But you can fix it," they screamed. "It costs you nothing to help." Elias looked down at his gray, scarred hands. He looked at the black thread on his wrist. "It costs me everything," he said. "And the price has gone up." He slammed the door. He locked it. He went back to his loom. He cut the empty warp from the frame. He picked up a spool of plain, rough wool, gray and scratchy. He began to weave a blanket. It was not magical. It did not glow. It would not fix a broken heart or cure a fear of death. But as he pulled the lever and the loom clacked, thud, 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 Elias felt a tiny flickering spark in his chest. It was faint. It was cold, but it was his own heat. Do not set yourself on fire to keep others warm. The ash you become will not be thanked. It will be swept away. Your boundaries are the only things that define where they end and you begin. Without them, you are not a person. You are just a supply closet. And supply closets are never loved. They are only used. Be wise. Be guarded. And stay close to the stories that tell you the truth.